And here we go. Game number 2. Inshaa versus Khers. And this time, we have another hot matchup. Warsaw East is the map. And Inshaa is bringing in nothing else but Hotgrupa Petjechina. That's on the other side. Khers is bringing in an OG division that was meta for a long time. And that is first Pindata Romania Mare. But it has fallen off quite a bit out of the meta. Petjechina has never been there. So these two really have their fun meta, off-meta picks, and they bring them out again. And once more, it should be hot action. This time though, it's Maverick versus Maverick. Khers knows that Maverick is the go-to income, but I really enjoy his Vanguard special picks on the right map, in the right matchup. But this time, we see Inshaa's famous special unit that he uses better than anyone else out there, and that's the ARM 38 50mm mortar. The ARM 38 is hard to use because it has only 800 meter range, but if you use it correctly, it can be devastating against enemy infantry and anti-tank gun positions. So that will for sure put a lot of pressure into the north. On the other side though, Khers coming around with 20mm cannon cars in form of the 250/9. And Pioneer Assault with double flamers. So bringing in a lot of forces for the northern flag as well. What's in the center? Takam T60s and Stu 42s will face an SU-122. So this should be some hot action. Sis 3 guns in the south. Strelky DT, the special unit of this division. An 8-man Molotov unit that also brings out a DT with them. So yeah, it should be quite a hot match between two interesting divisions that I believe we have never seen before meeting each other in a league game. First of all, because Petjechina is not seen that often. Like, I guess we have maybe a handful of games with Petjechina in the whole history of League. And First Pindata has been out of meta when Petjechina came around already. So it has not seen that much play in the last year and a half or so either. So this should be quite the hot match. But Khers setting up for fight in the north is interesting. Like, I wonder who will have the upper hand here up in the north. The two ARM 38s for sure can help out, but there's not that much against the 20mm. There's the VG-Watt PTR, and that's basically it. I think the Saperi Camaraderie also has a Panzerfaust or so, but that's basically it. The Strelky has an anti-tank grenade, but that should not connect. Lots more ARM 38 also come in for the center. Inshaa will have to go for a fast move into the center. The part that Inshaa's side has of the hill is a bit smaller than the side that Khers has. But on the other side, you have a quick access to this position. And you also have a bit more ground in the north. And a better setup behind it than the blue side. And you have a really good spot over here that looks over this open terrain. If you can push the enemy out in the south, you have a lot of good spots as well. Pushing you out for blue is a bit harder. So the center for sure is blue tilted, and in general that makes the map most likely slightly blue tilted for sure. I know, people like El Bowser say this is totally imbalanced. I have to disagree. I actually rather play the red side. Though I would still say it's the weaker side, but I'm just playing better when I play the red side somehow, some way. Even though I would agree that blue side most likely is the better one. 20mm coming around here. ARM 38s coming in us on the other side. Strelky DTs on a lot of good spots. But the 20mm here might be the problem. And that was one of the reasons why this division was so good back in the day. 20mm autocannons did rule the waves and the land and the sky as well, basically. Let's hear Strelky DTs roll in. ARM 38s getting in spots. The Lakari flamethrowers come in here. Saperi, Comrade sitting around. 38's already aiming up here though. Unloaded over in the north as well. Vigivod PTR has to be careful. You don't want to lose that against the transport immediately. But Arm 38 firing up there as well. Arm 38 over here hitting the Flakari as well. Both Flakaris under heavy fire. Strelky DT, DT rifle, SVT, 3 PPSHs. So decent mid-range firepower. And a Molotov. So decent unit for 20 points now that they have one more hit point. Still not amazing, which is the reason why we don't see Fetyukina, because their special infantry is only mid-level of power level, but at least with the DT buff and the 1 extra strength that they got a couple of patches ago, going up from 7 to 8 men, they are pretty okay. And a unit that you for sure have quite a bit of use case for. Meanwhile, the 20mm here pushing forward, but Vigivod PTR is around with their PTR and their anti-tank grenade. The PTR, the 3 PTRDs firing, starting to kill this off. Getting them all. Ooh, Khers maybe a bit over-aggressive here, but has the double flamers around. One of them taking quite a bit of damage, but Vanatori Dekari also around with the TNT grenade. On the other side, only the Molotovs of the Strelky DTs as a CQC weapon. Arm 38s tried to help out, but they come in now a bit too late with their hits. Not enough to keep the Strelky DTs and the Strelkies alive. And Khers, even though all the 20mm did basically nothing, still will win the north. Meanwhile in the town, the Flakari got pushed back. Arm 38s help out with the next part of the town as well. SU 122 did either go down or never got here. Feel like might never have. Oh no, it's down here. Okay, I'm just blind. Never went into the middle though. Arm 38 will try to get some hits off, hitting the Vanatori Moto, but might not be perfectly on target there. No, doesn't seem to be. Still deals some damage, but not really the damage they want to deal there. And the Takam plus the Panzer Grenadiers deal with the Strelky DT there relatively easily. More reinforcements coming in for the north, but the Arm 38s here have been taken out. More Strelky DTs running in there. Pioneer Assault, both still alive. One down to 2 hit points, so a Molotov on top with a bit of PPSH fire should easily kill this. But it might still get a bit of DPS out itself. Inshaa currently even up on the 1311. Thanks to the flag in the south. But the flag over here should fall into Inshaa's hand eventually as well. At the same time though, northern flag falls to Khers, and this flag over here also still under heavy pressure. MG34 firing onto the assist 3 gun here. Maxim has to disengage as well. Inshaa once more with the combat. Once more with the commander here on the battlefield. Can that help out bringing this game into Inshaa's favor? 1410 is up. JU87D5 though on the hunt for the SU122. SU122 tries to disengage. Did break line of sight, but I don't think it's quite fast enough to get away. It's trying to move forward. I think moving sidewards would have maybe made it. Like sideways, backwards. Took too long to rotate there. Maybe even just going backwards would have been enough. But it dies in the end. It doesn't matter. Inshaa loses an important tool there. And the north seems rather lost. Strelky DT reinforcements came in, but they came in too late. SU2 trying to come in now with its bombs. 1 point recon bomber. Gets the Pioneer Assault at least. Both Pioneer Assault down. Cis 3 gun is around, so 20mm has to be careful again. Sherman coming out again. So that's a helpful vehicle on this map as well. I really enjoy having Shermans on this map. They can be quite useful in a lot of places. From the light forest up here to the edges where they can come in with their quick aim time, to around the buildings over here. There's quite a couple of use cases for them, but against Dukes in general they're usually not that great, and the center is under heavy pressure. Most of the infantry here of Inshaa has been cleaned out. Needs more reinforcements there. Normal Strelkies and channels coming in there. Whilst in the south, Inshaa still ahead, but not enough forces to do a big counter push here. Gets the 20mm autocannon in the north. Sherman coming up. Not anything against the Sherman on the... like, no anti-tank here. Currently on the side of Khers. The Vanatory Moto don't bring anything in that regard onto the battlefield. So that could be quite helpful. IG-18's coming up, but they don't really deal with Shermans either. Like, you need to be rather lucky or have a lot of shots on target to get the kill there. But the much bigger problem right now for Inshaa is the center. That needs to be dealt with. More channels coming in, some peri-camaraderie as well. 2 even. And this needs to be dealt with. This needs to be retaken. Otherwise, this gets really problematic really quickly here for Inshaa. You can't allow the enemy to take the ridge. If the enemy takes this ridge, you basically have lost the game. You can't contest it immediately. So, we'll see how this goes. But there's only... like, we only had really a few games where this didn't spell complete disaster. So, Inshaa needs to keep units in here to keep it under pressure. Like, if Inshaa maybe would have won the north and would be winning the south, then maybe. But the north obviously also still in trouble. For sure anything but one. So, losing the center currently would be absolute disaster. Hotchkiss 25mm and 20mm pushing back the SU2. SU2 in the north at least got shot off, though Hotchkiss helped out pushing it back there as well. And the 1311 is now ticking for Khers. Khers keeping the pressure up now. Strelky DT engaging the Vanatory Moto over here. Can Inshaa bring it back in the center? AM38 still around, but they are out of ammo. That's not where you want them to be. It's just 3-gun, trying its best to come around here as well. Whilst down in the south, Strelky DT have a bad engagement as well. In general, Strelky DT is really not having the best of times in this fight. So I think that's also because they don't have that many good matchups in this matchup in general. They really don't excel too much in anything. Because sadly the DT is a light machine gun. His head is move and shoot, so you at least can fire whilst running onto the enemy. But it sadly doesn't have... it's not an automatic rifle, so it doesn't fire below 100 meters. So even below 100 meters where you have your Molotovs and your SVTs, you still don't have as much DPS as a full-on CQC unit. And you don't tank well compared to other infantry units and so on. So, yes, it has its use cases, but it's, as I said, not the one insane infantry unit that you kind of want with a special division like Fetyukina. 1410 though is still on. Ju-87D5 flying around, hunting for some targets. 37mm could unload now, would push it back. Is it unloading? No, it's not unloading. Inshaa needs to react here. With 3-star accuracy, 37mm, even a kill might be possible. Now Inshaa might lose the MCHA or get all the channels pinned down. Either way would be bad. More channels coming in. 1311 for Khers continues. Can Khers take revenge for last season? For the finals of Division 2? Or can Inshaa regain control of this game? Strelky DT engaging some Pioneer Assault. At least there they don't get retaliated on. No damage from the Pioneer Assault on this range. So the single DT can do a bit of damage, but doesn't do too much there. Another RM38 is around. But as I said, no supply for the RM38s is a bit annoying for them. Though with RM38s it's often more effective to just buy a new one if you have some left than resupplying them. But the Sherman at least is doing a good job here in the north. SS2 gun helping out as well. Chernos moving forward. At least, sadly, the leader went down. But the Emcha still pushing deeper. Doesn't see the Hotchkiss here. Doesn't see the Vanatomi Moto either. And has to be really careful of the Stuk in the rear. 13-11 for Khers. G87 D5 with cluster coming in. Khers still keeping up the pressure. Another Sherman coming around. G87 rushing for the Emcha. And most likely will get the kill here. Emcha will get fully hit upon. And will go down. SU2 not able to get a kill here either. Inshaa at least back to a 12-12. But doesn't have anything to retake the center with. No F-map or so in here. Bombers kept at bay. And the ARM-38s emptied out. And pushing this with Shermans and infantry alone sounds like a pretty tough job. Like a really tough job. So, we'll see. What can Inshaa do here? Can there be a comeback over the flanks, maybe? More Saperis coming in. Stuk rolling in here in the north. This time, it's Inshaa who doesn't have too much AT. It's his 2-gun on the way, at least. That might be helpful. Another Sis 2-gun around here that maybe could snipe the Stuk. That would be helpful, though the infantry here still is a strong one as well. In a pretty good spot there, too. Thanks for the sub, Vampiro. Much appreciated. Thanks for all the support. SU2 coming in here. Cannot find a bombing hit. Well, it's another SU-122 comes in to support the north. Stuk stays out of here for now. Wait, what is this order? Huh? Okay, misclick by Khers. This is a funny one. Somehow reversing with the Stuk. Okay, what? This can't be intended. Reversing into the Sis 3 gun here basically with the Stuk. That might be a welcome gift for Inshaa. But the center is the problem. Sis 2 gun now at least has line of sight onto the Stuk. Ah, but quick reaction here by Khers. Can Khers find the kill here? Ah, Sis 2 gun I think got spotted. No, it's firing on units over here. Can the Sis 2 gun get the kills? Sis 2 gun now will fire. Gets the penetration. Stu doesn't know where it's shot from. And gets killed. Okay, important kill there. Can Inshaa's human wave tactic here work out? Sis 2 gun gets the biggest obstacle out of the way. Oh, another Vanatomi Moto going down the transport. Thanks to the combat over here. These guys all have 3-star veterancy or 2-star veterancy. So the Vanatomi Moto will be under heavy pressure, but Khers is on a 15-9. J75 cluster bomber coming in from the side. Trying to find a target. Not quite having one. But at the same time, something went horribly wrong in the south. I'm not quite sure what happened here. But Khers found a way to get the pressure on here. Overwhelm the relatively sizable forces, including a Sherman down here in the south of Inshaa. And pushing Inshaa back here. Inshaa now bringing in the second unique unit of this division. The BS3 100mm anti-tank gun. One of the best anti-tank guns in the game. 7 rounds per minute. 200mm of penetration on a AP shell. And 45% accuracy. Also not too bad. Not too bad. But 2 IGs are better in the HE damage department. So the BS3 has to be careful there. And the 1410 for Khers continues. Push over here also seems to be bugged down. ARM-38's really missing right now. But without supplies they can't do much. And Strelkys and Saperis alone also don't seem to be quite the solution for the problem in the south. Khers in general seems to have the slightly better combined arms here. And that is starting to show. Luck feeling around here as well. No Sherman or otherwise tank on the side of Inshaa. 1 or 2 Shermans in the center right now could be quite key. As we saw earlier, not that much infantry AT on the side of Khers. And currently also lacking the Sherman or the Stuk or so to deal with Shermans. But no Sherman to worry about right now from Inshaa. Artillerist coming in. And Channel coming in the north as well. It's his 3-gun. Moving around. Channel Psychatniki moving in as forward as well. It's his 2-gun. Might be in for a nice spot here as well, but there's too much firepower. It can't just... Yeah, I don't think this spot works out for the SIS-2. Not working as well as the one over here. And without off-map or any other big HE like suppression tool, getting back on here just seems to be highly unlikely. Like a Mercer ISU is a bit too hard to use, I would guess. It could work, but it's being used for the south. So yeah, something like a Mercer off-map, a big bomber. But for the big bomber, you would need to silence the AA, obviously. Stuff like this could be quite key here. But not coming around in Fetyukina like easily. Channels moving forward. It's his 2-gun, trying to get into a good spot as well. 1410 though, continuing here for Khers. Here's 3-gun, found a target. Stu under fire. Doesn't get killed off instantaneously though. Will get a retaliation here. And that might end badly for the BS3. BS3 goes down to 1 hit point, but gets the kill before going down completely. That's good. Oh yeah, the third special unit, the 160mm mortar now on the battlefield as well. But I'm not a big fan of this thing. Really inaccurate and really low rate of fire. Yes, if it hits, it does a lot of damage, but chances are it doesn't. Especially not if you're not in radio range. So let's see what Inshaa can do with this. ISU 152 coming up. Strelki trying to deal with the Vanatori Moto. 160mm mortar. Can it get the hit onto the Vegeta? That would be quite amazing. But it does miss horribly there with the first shot. And its rate of fire is abysmal. Next shot going out. In the north, Vanatori Moto getting pushed back. Still quite a couple of AB horse. And a Stuk in this forest. Says 2. Out now for spotting. SU 122. Can it find the hit before it gets pinned down? Gets 1 AB Horch. Says 2-gun with the next shot, but now under fire. Has to disengage there. 1 AB Horch at least down though, but the 59 still on for Khers. Black captured down here. Black's captured in here in the center. More VG-Watt PTR coming in. SU-122 gets another kill. Says 2-gun has to disengage though. But at least SU-122 doing a good job here. But the Stuk is still around, so it has to be careful. Vegeta coming in as well. 11-13. ISU in a good spot as well. Hits the Vanatori Moto, gets the kill. More Strelkis coming in as well. 13-11 is on. Can this be won by Inshaa? Can Inshaa make the comeback? Or does Khers get the W here fully with game number 2? Good game here with Romania Mare. Vegeta here in a good spot. Solid push in the south. Khers always pretty resourceful in the pushes. Good setup in the center as well. In the north, a big back and forth, making it a bit harder on himself than need be maybe. Like a couple of casualties here were a bit unnecessary. But also Inshaa did bite into this quite well. Never giving up fully up. Always clawing his way back into this forest. And now might be on the counter push. But the 59 is relentlessly ticking down. And the 120mm doesn't find the targets just yet. Maxime has to be careful. On the other side, 100mm less. Still make a good mortar with the 60mm mortar on the other side. Sherman's trying to come around. Not much to stop a Sherman down here. Vegeta also now under fire by a Maxime. Not what you want to have happen with your Vegeta. Luckily it gets bugged down at the moment where it is out of line of sight of the Maxime. But the 16-8 here keeps a 9-minute timer on Inshaa. Sherman moving forward. We are in C-phase. Both sides now down to the low amount of 80 points of income. ISU Shooting into the south. Getting a solid hit. Next ISU rolling up in the north. SU-122 trying to get their Stuk kill here. Together maybe with the VG-Watt PTR. Trying to get another flag. Flag over here. Didn't got taken yet. Ooh. Beobachtungsflieger Storch with a 210mm off map. Sounds like a dangerous unit there. Sounds like this could deal some damage. Khers up to a 59. Hotchkiss, 25mm. Gets hit by the ISU. 10-14 here for Inshaa. Is this still doable here? Has to be careful. Valatori Dakare with Panzerfaust. ISU though gets the kill, and Inshaa starts to get the tools online. I feel like the ISUs, the SU, the 160mm mortar, the Shermans. Ah, but the first Sherman falls. Second Sherman has to be careful. I don't think Inshaa has an eye on this right now. Valatori Dakare might get the double kill here, and that would be bloody awful. Like this Sherman. These Shermans have so much potential here, but the Valatori Dakare might take all that potential away. Yeah, it gets in range. Inshaa tries to run away, but doesn't get out of there. Gets killed by the Valatori Dakare, and this is a devastating loss here. And the 59 is relentlessly pushing down. Stuk trying to come up here as well. ISU has to be careful. ISU in the center might be helpful. I'm surprised that the 160mm mortar actually is not in the center, as there might be doing some good damage onto this hill. And in the north, the off-map also did its deed. Keeping the pressure off Khers there. Getting a lot of damage done. SU-122 going down as well. ISU-152 coming up. But that is not a great CQC unit. Might even lose against the Stuk there. And the 16-8 is still in favor of our player in blue. Khers keeping up the pressure. And keeping the flags where they need to be. For a quick win in 6 minutes and 50 seconds. Shermans down in the south. This is such a big loss, especially as you don't have endless amounts of Shermans in this division, so replacing them becomes quite tough at this stage. With anything of use. 16-8 keeps on ticking. Can Inshaa somehow crawl the way back in here? Or has Khers now done too much damage? It kinda feels like it. It kinda feels like it. Stuk over here at least went down. But the ISU also can't fight the Regida. Regida has to be pinned down somewhat how else, but 2 Regidas around here by now. 160mm mortar for the north. 16-8 though, relentlessly ticking. 6 minutes on the clock. What can Inshaa do about this? ISU 152 rolling in. Saperi coming in as well. Mandatory Moto sitting around here. Mandatory Moto over there. Getting hit off. Getting killed off as well. ISU 152 rolling back. Can Inshaa do it anymore? 17-7. Still a couple of good units here on the battlefield for Inshaa for sure, but it feels like Khers has done it. Feels like Khers has kept up the pressure for long enough, has done enough damage, and ooh, this seems like to be the final nail in the coffin. This off-map pinning down, maybe killing off a couple of infantry units, maybe even killing off the ISU, but for sure keeping it away for long enough that 5 minutes only on the clock should be something that Khers can take down here in time. Saperi's trying to hold the line, but 2 Pioneers and a Valatori Moto coming in the way. Stuk still around as well. ISU didn't take the fight. 17-7 on the clock. Off map does a good job. Infantry being pushed back. 60mm mortars also keep the rain falling. 37mm under fire. And this is it. 18-6 is happening. 2 minutes only now for Inshaa. This should be it. Inshaa should now not have any chances to coming back here. And it seems like Khers is the one to do it this time around. Seems like Khers is on the way for the revenge for last season's Division 2 finals. And making this a bit of a rivalry with this, I guess. One to look forward to in future seasons. As both of these players obviously will meet again next season in Division 1. So the 19-5 here for Khers must feel quite nice. 1 minute 20 remaining. ISU trying to get another shot off. 18-6 is happening. 17-7 now, but that doesn't really change much. There's only 2 minutes and 28 seconds remaining. And there's really not that much on the battlefield for Inshaa right now to take flags with easily. Northern situation seems to be somewhat decent. ISU coming in. Stuk still around though. AB Hoich can be annoying as well. 17-7 is still on. 1 minute and 3 seconds remaining. As we are now even up to an 18-6 again. ISU trying their best. But the infantry down here also still too strong. And really, one of the issues of Fetyukina is that you don't have any special infantry to follow up with. Like, you have your one somewhat good infantry with the DT, but all the rest of your deck is just normal Strelki, Saperi, and Channels, and those ain't that amazing. ISU trying to do the damage here, but only 30 seconds on the clock, and it's getting more and more dire here for Inshaa. ISU in the north trying to deal with the Stuk, not able to do so just yet though. One AB Horch went down, but that's for sure not enough. 17 seconds on the clock, and the winner of third place will be Khers. Inshaa still trying to keep the fight up. Will maybe even have the better KD here in the end, but getting pushed out of a position like this is just such a tough thing. KD wise, yeah, Inshaa is even ahead here, but not with enough pressure. And Khers always really strong in taking flags. Did so really well here as well, and then just kept throwing units at Inshaa so that Inshaa couldn't come back easily. So GGVP here to Khers, taking the third place with it. And with that, a bit of extra money over Inshaa in the Matcherino. And yep, well, VP. A lot of good fights here. The Arm 38s for sure did their job, but never got the refill. And on the other side, the 20mm and especially the infantry did a lot of lifting here for our player in blue, taking the north in the early game of the special infantry. And the push in the south was what really made this a troublesome position for Inshaa, putting so much time pressure onto it. Whilst the center, Inshaa just lacked the tools to take it back after the initial push out of it. So VP here, 2 Khers, taking the W, taking the extra money. And if you want to make that extra money a slight bit higher, you can go to Matcherino, and you can just click these visit website links, for example, to add free money to the prize pool without you having to pay anything and without you having to do anything. Like, you don't have to buy anything on the website, you don't have to even click anything on the website, you just have to visit it for a second, and you add money to the prize pool. So if you want to give a bit of something back, a bit of appreciation in the form of a bit of money, then feel free to click these links on the Matcherino page and make the prize pool a bit bigger for all these amazing players that invested so much blood, sweat, and tears into becoming such entertaining players for us. And yeah, this was a really entertaining series. I can't wait to see more of Khers and Inshaa in the next season of League, as both of these have become some of my favorites to watch. For sure not to play against, especially Inshaa. Like, he is just so good, and especially the Arm 38s tilt the hell out of me. But it's super enjoyable to cast them, and I can't wait to do more. So with that out of the way now, there's only one game in Division 1 remaining. And that is the one I guess we all have been waiting for, and most of us maybe also hoped for the whole season. And that's the rematch. Gonzo versus Onord. The rematch of Season 7, of the finals of Season 7. And this time, Onord might take it. Last time was a 3-2-2, but Onord looks really strong at the moment. Gonzo, though, is in shape as well, so it won't be an easy pushover, but it will be hot. This time also money on the line. Season 7 was the first season since Season 1 that we didn't have a prize pool, but this time there's also money on the line for both players, so let's see how they will perform there. And this should be a really hot final. Maybe, like, has the potential to become one of the best of all times. With these two meeting again, it should be a close one, each match, and I can't wait to see it. As the balance never has been better, and the players never have been better either, so it should be an absolute show. Most likely will gonna happen Monday, but I will keep you updated